Welcome to Windows 7 Features and Gadgets. This is Connor M-Toups. The following presentation is a Durham Tech Network Operating Systems 110 final project. Windows 7 is the newest release of Windows OS. First released in October 22nd of 2009, it has replaced Windows XP and Windows Vista as the primary Windows OS for consumers. Windows 7 has better features and new gadgets that complement its upgraded kernel. Today, I will be talking about the Windows 7 features, the Snipping tool, Peek, and the Windows 7 gadget, the CPU Gadget. When using Windows, a user can have many windows and programs open at the same time. Sometimes these windows can become cluttered, or the user may wish to open files located on the desktop. Traditionally, the user would need to minimize each window to reach the desktop. With the new Windows 7 feature, Peek, the user can view the desktop by using the Peek Hover option. Additionally, the user may use the Peek Click option to minimize all windows. When the user uses the Peek Hover option, all the windows will become transparent, save for an outline which turns sea blue. One of the values of the Peek Hover option is it allows users to view the gadgets at will. This is useful for when the user's gadgets give information that is relevant to the current open windows. Additionally, the user may wish to view all the files on the desktop. If they wish to open said files, they will need to use the Peek Click option. When the user chooses the Peek Click option, all the current active windows will be minimized. This is done by pressing the Peek icon. The user can then open a program or file on a clear desktop. Alternatively, the user can press the Peek icon again to return all the previously open windows back to their prior states. In older versions of Windows, you could take full screen screenshots as well as windowed screenshots. This was typically triggered by a dedicated key on the keyboard. While this feature still exists in Windows 7, there is a new feature called the Snipping tool that offers users much greater flexibility when taking screenshots. The Snipping tool has 4 distinct modes that each take very specific types of screenshots. The freeform snipping mode of the Snipping tool allows the user to take a screenshot of any part of their screen in any shape they may wish. After the user has chosen this mode, the mouse pointer changes to a pair of scissors. At this point, the user will click and hold the left mouse key. Finally, the user should drag the mouse cursor around the part of the screen they wish to capture. When the left mouse key is released, Windows will capture and format the section, adding it to an editing window. The rectangular snipping mode of the Snipping tool is much like the freeform snip. The primary difference is, as the user drags the mouse cursor, the tool forms a rectangle aligned with the cursor's path. All the screen space within the rectangle will be added to an editing window. This mode is especially useful as it compensates for human error with clear, clean-cut lines. The windowed snipping mode of the Snipping tool is much like the original windowed screenshot. First, the user must select the window mode of the Snipping tool. Then the user may click on a window that they wish to capture as a snip. The critical difference between the Snipping tool and the traditional screenshot feature is that the snip is saved to an editor. I will discuss the Snipping tool editor momentarily. The final mode of the snipping tool is the full screen snip. Like its name suggests, upon clicking this mode, a copy of the current screen will be added to the snipping tool editor. It's important to note, however, that the snipping tool will omit its own windows from the full screen snip. The snipping tool editor window will open whenever a user has captured a snip. This editor window allows users to view the snips before saving to an image file format. In addition to viewing the screenshot, the user can also perform cropping on the snips prior to the save. Lastly, if the image is not to the user's liking, they can simply choose a snipping tool mode, and the feature will discard the unwanted image. Before Windows 7, a user would need to open a picture editing program, like MS Paint, to view and edit the screenshot. Clearly, the snipping tool feature is a huge advancement for Microsoft's screenshots. In addition to features, Windows Vista and Windows 7 implemented the Windows Gadgets. Before the current app-based application age, there was the Gadgets. Gadgets are very simplistic programs that perform lightweight tasks. Some examples are calculators, weather monitors, and computer information displays. By their nature, gadgets are installed directly into the desktop of the OS. One of the primary causes of non-viral computer slowness and crashes is an overheated computer processing unit, or CPU. When a program takes too many processing cycles, or if too many programs are open at the same time, the computer processor will not be able to keep up with this strain. If let to continue unchecked, it's possible, though unlikely, to burn out your CPU permanently. The CPU gadget installs directly into the desktop and provides a meter for both the CPU and RAM usage. The CPU meter, which looks much like a car meter, lets the user know how hard the CPU is currently running. It also provides a danger zone, so the user will know when they need to shut down excessive programs. The CPU gadget only shows the first CPU it detects, which is clearly a limitation. In a multi-core system, or even a multi-processor system, the gadget will not give an exact display of the current CPU usage. It will, however, give a good approximation, as most multi-core systems use load balancing. When a multi-core system uses load balancing, it evenly distributes work between cores. When this happens, and the CPU gadget shows critical usage, it's safe to assume that all the cores are in a similar state. While it's not as critical as CPU usage, lack of free RAM can cause havoc with most operating systems, Windows 7 included. Every program uses a portion of the computer's RAM, including the operating system. When the computer runs out of RAM, the operating system may become slow, unstable, or outright lose its mind. In some cases, poorly written programs, or unstable program patches, can use more memory than it requires. It is important to catch these runaway programs to stabilize the computer. Connected to the CPU meter of the CPU gadget is the RAM meter. Naturally, the RAM meter displays the amount of total memory currently in use. Like the CPU meter, the RAM meter has a warning zone. Should the meter enter the warning zone, it's important to immediately identify which programs are causing the issue. As mentioned before, the CPU gadget only shows one CPU. Additionally, both the CPU and RAM meters are approximations and will not provide the user with exact data. An individual may be tempted to wonder, what's the point of this gadget? The answer is simplicity. True to its nature as a gadget, the CPU gadget provides just enough information without cluttering the desktop. This gadget is meant to offer an easy-to-access view into the state of your computer, not a complete overview. To really see what's going on, the user will have to open up the System Resource window found in the control panel. To conclude, the peek feature gives the user better control over the open windows. The snipping tool allows the user to take precise pictures of the screen. And the CPU Gadget warns the user of CPU overheating or excessive memory usage. Thank you for watching. This has been Connor M-Toups, and this concludes this presentation.